Good morning, everybody. It's good to be with you today. Even though we're not in the same room, I sure am missing you. But it is good that we can hear the word of the Lord together, even though we're apart. Today, as we get ready to begin our story time, I want to tell you that we're in the blue room upstairs. It's a special place to me. And our story today is about a special place in God's Word to a very special man in God's Word. And so as we get ready to hear the word of the Lord, get your mind ready to hear God's Word, get your heart ready to hear God's Word, and get your whole body ready to hear God's Word. We know that God has given us a special place to hear His Word. So let's begin, as we always do, by singing our Bible words from Psalm 46. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Let's hear the word of the Lord together. So in our Bible, we're going to be in the book of Genesis. That's the very first book of the Bible in the Old Testament. And our story is in chapter 28. And here is our story today. It's not a very long story, but it's an important story. So let's hear the word of the Lord together. I wonder, where are we going today in God's Word? I wonder, what do you think? Where do you think we're going today? Oh, this could be a road. It could be a place in the wilderness. Let's see where we're going in God's Word. Well, let's remember, it's been a while since we've been in Genesis. We've taken a couple of weeks away from Genesis. So here's Jacob, and here is Esau. And Esau is very angry with Jacob because Jacob has stolen his blessing from their father Isaac. And Esau is so mad at Jacob that he says, "You better run away because I'm coming after you." Jacob was afraid, and Esau was very mad. He was so mad, he said, "I'm going to kill Jacob." So Jacob leaves Esau. I'm going to tuck Esau away. Jacob leaves Esau, and he runs away, and he's in the wilderness. And he comes to a place where he has to stop and rest for the night. And so in Genesis 28, my Bible tells me that Jacob finds some stones around, and he needs a pillow. And so he chooses a stone for a pillow. And my Bible says that he rests his head on the pillow of stone, and he falls asleep. And when he falls asleep, he begins to dream. Listen to his dream. It's an amazing one. Let's see. So Jacob dreams that there's a ladder going all the way up to heaven and resting on the ground. And on that ladder, there are angels moving up the ladder and angels moving down the ladder, leading up into heaven where God is. But that's not where the dream ends. While Jacob is sleeping, he hears God's voice. Listen to what God says to Jacob. He says, "I am the Lord, the God of Abraham, your grandfather, and I am the God of Isaac, your father. I will give you many, many descendants," the same promise that he had given to Abraham and Isaac. "I will give you many descendants on the land that you're now sleeping on." That's my promise to you. "Your children will be as many as the dust of the earth. They will spread west, east, north, and south all over the world. All the families of the earth will be blessed through your children. I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. Do not be afraid, Jacob." Well, when Jacob wakes up, he remembers the dream, and my Bible says that he's afraid, that Jacob is afraid. And Jacob says this, surely the Lord is in this place. Surely the Lord is in this place. And so my Bible says that he takes the rock that had been his pillow, and he stands it up. Let's see if we can make a standing stone or an altar. A standing stone is a place that marks a special place of God. So a standing stone or an altar is a place where God's people would give thanks. And so Jacob takes the rock, he stands it up, and my Bible says that he pours oil onto the rock. And he says, God, this is a special place. This is where you live. I'm going to call this place the house of God. I'm going to call this place Bethel, the house of God. And I'm going to make you a promise, God, if you will take me on my journey, if you will keep me safe, and if you will get me food, if you will protect me, then God, I will be your servant forever. I promise you, God, I will be your servant forever. And he also says, and whatever I get, whatever I have in this life, I will give 10% of it to you, God. That's my promise to you, God. So here's my wonder questions for today. I wonder if Jacob was afraid when he was looking through the stones and he chose a stone for his pillow. That doesn't sound like a very comfortable pillow to me. But I wonder, what do you think Jacob was thinking and feeling as he was going to spend the night out in the wilderness? He's running from his brother. I wonder if he was afraid. I wonder what Jacob was thinking when he woke up from his dream. That sounds like a pretty amazing dream of angels going up and down the ladder into heaven. And to hear the voice of God, I wonder what God's voice sounded like when God was talking to Jacob. What do you think? I wonder why he chose the stone to be an altar. I wonder why that was important to Jacob, for him to say thank you in that way. I wonder. And I wonder why he named this place the house of God. Why do you think he named this place the house of God? And then my last wonder question is, I wonder, do you have a special place where you think about God? Is there a special place in your life that is sacred or holy? That means set apart. Do you have a special place where you think about God? I'm sitting in one of my special places where I think about God, but I have some other places. Let's look at our prayer journal. If you're keeping your Praying in Color journal, here's mine. And look, I said, I wonder where is your special holy place to be with God. And look, I made a ladder. And here are some of my special holy places. I said, at the beach. That's a special place, a holy place for me. Every time I walk up to the beach, I think of how big and strong and powerful God is. In my yard, I love to think about God outside in nature. The His Kids worship room, that's one of my sacred holy places here at Highland. I like to go to Jacob's Dream at ACU. That's a sacred holy place to me. I put my sister's house. I have some sisters, and I love to be at their houses, on their front porches, in their backyards. Those are holy places for me. This is one. Teacher Dana's back porch. I like to sit on Teacher Dana's back porch. I also have a reading chair at home, and that's a sacred place for me. And sometimes my car can be a sacred place. When I'm just driving by myself, it's a time where I can talk to God and be with God and think about the things in my life that God has helped me with and how God is always with me. So I wonder, where is your sacred place? Where's your holy place to be with God? Well, let's remember our verse together. We're still on the same one. I think we're just going to finish out the summer with this one. You probably don't need the words because we've been working on this a long time. But if you do, here they are. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Ensure justice for those being crushed. Yes, speak up for the poor and helpless and see that they get justice. Proverbs 31, 8 through 9 from the New Living Translation. You can look it up in other versions. Have your mom and dad help you. It sounds a little different, but it still means the same thing. And so here's our family challenge. It's the same one. I think it's a good one, though. How will you speak up this week? How will you be a witness for Jesus and for God's amazing love? Well, I love you. I miss you. It was good to hear the word of the Lord together. And I want to encourage you to love God with your whole heart this week. See you next time. Bye.